Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at Dogecoin this weekend. Last we looked, we were expecting the 0.618, 0.65, that golden pocket, bounce off that level, which effectively did happen. So congrats on that. However, there's been a few fair value gaps on the way up that may need to get filled, but we're seeing a ton of volume here today. And in case you're not familiar, this is, again, standard fundamental catalyst here. Elon Musk posted a DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency post not so long ago, pretty much exactly when the price pumped up. Okay, so keep in mind that's something you really can't control, and nobody truly knows what's going on or when that's going to happen. But that is a very beneficial thing there. Now, keep in mind, that's one part of it, but the other half of trading is understanding where prices may go as well moving forward. So what we want to do here in this situation is essentially draw out some larger, more macro fibs and understand those key level supports and resistances. Okay. So again, at this point here, we can see that solid bounce off, again, 0.618, a lot of confluence there at this 12-cent mark. So 12 cents seems to be the new bottom based on previous closures and just overall scenarios here looking quite favorable with the current fib level. So we'll discuss a few other things that are important here, such as back-end data with liquidation, and kind of go from there. But if you are new to the channel, just ask you, just quickly hit the like button, comment below. Even if you've been watching for a while, thank you again so much for all the support. Quick heads up to our community too, or those who are considering joining. We saw some awesome profits this week. We took a trade with NOT, N-O-T, 61% in one day. We took VeChain profits, Polkadot profits, Filecoin profits, MNT, ICP, all targets achieved on Near and Cardano as well. So been a nice profitable week for us. And again, we just got to highlight the positive here, folks, right? Because again, a lot of situations, you can trade into, and it's just one of those things where you gotta take advantage of what you got while you got it, right? And what I mean by that is just basically the current market right now. It's still mostly bullish, right? So you don't want to be shorting the market for the moment until we break these ascending trend lines, which is technically going to be tested potentially this weekend from Bitcoin. So we'll talk about that here as well, because it is important and relevant to understand how Bitcoin is performing, because that's kind of a foundation of success for most coins. We take a look here though, we can see that a lot of liquidation occurred here, so a lot of shorts getting destroyed between 12.7 to 13.2. There are some late shorts, big surprise, at 13.6 as low as 13.2. So you add that up, it's about 100, 200 billion. Sorry, 100, 200 million, not billion. Misspoke there. But either way you understand it here, there's not a lot of liquidation left here at this point. Okay. So all in all, for the most part, majority liquidation levels have been swept. There is, again, we can see a lot of liquidation here as well in the 12-cent range. So it just kind of reaffirms that support. Once more though, you got to recognize too, liquidation events occur just below, previous liquidation sweeps, right? So we obviously saw the price sweep down here as low as 12 cents, bounce off that level, and continued higher. So the whole point of me mentioning this is just so that you understand, the liquidation levels are important to recognize, but they're not like the only thing. But it does reaffirm the fact that 12 cents is probably a pretty good support level for us, okay? And that's an important thing to recognize. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the daily time frame, work our way down, and just kind of see where we're at here. So on the daily, we want to go ahead and understand a few things here first. First things first is the moving averages. These kind of give us a baseline on where we're heading next, or more importantly, support and resistances. You can see the 20-day SMA is running concurrent with the ascending trend line. It will catch up with it eventually. Same thing with the 50 as well. Those are positive, being below the price. We have a potential resistance working its way down at 13.5, so I'm speculating we're kind of tentatively topped out for the moment. I wouldn't foresee any continuation much higher than this from a technical standpoint. Again, fundamentals, we see more tweets or whatever online about Dogecoin. Just say Trump does something with Dogecoin or says something about it. That could spark some more fuel. The key takeaway here is that you're more likely to find success going up than down, but it would make sense for the price to retrace to the local support first before it takes off again. Again, from a technical standpoint. And when I say technical standpoint, I'm simply referring to the fact that, from technical analysis, you have a lot of key levels that are essentially established over time. Those are usually good guides of where it's going to go next. So we take a look at this point of control here, for example, we can see 10.6 is that solid support level in the local range. But we zoom out a little bit more, we can see 12.3, again, reaffirming this area of 12 to 12.3 kind of as a solid support range. Okay, because again, we got the most amount of volume accumulated there. So when you see a lot of volume at one place, that leads you to believe that there's a lot of interest there too, right? And that interest allows the price to sustain itself if it comes to that level again. So in this case here, MACD is converging. Everything is truly bullish. Broken above 70 on the RSI. I think this is one of the few coins that's actually over 70 on the RSI. Most recently just kind of rejected out there and are pulling back right now. So as you can see, it's one of the few successful coins here today. Again, fundamental catalyst likely, but also has some good technicals too. And what we're looking at here, of course, see this mass amount of volume. You don't want to short into this amount of volume. I mean, unless you like being a statistic and you like to, kind of be part of this whole demographic here where you're just getting destroyed, it makes no sense to short this coin. I don't care if the price pulls back to 12 cents. Don't short from 13 to 12. It doesn't make any sense. What makes sense is to consider a long if the price pulls back to that range. I know it seems weird and crazy, but in case you didn't know this, as a trader, professional trader, you're not supposed to be in the market 24/7 all day long. You don't just hit the reverse button. You only go one direction at every time. You can go different directions. You can do it all, whatever you want. The key takeaway is that you want to be patient and trade less because the market is basically it's always going to reward those who are patient, okay? So again, just some friendly advice. Pump the brakes if you're like itching to take a trade right now. I'm willing to guess we'll see this cool off a little bit, but again, it's got good momentum, could very well run. Anyways, the whole point of this, we're back under 70 on the RSI, generally construed as a resistance there. Money flow index is super high though, okay? XRP is going off. We'll have to look at that here later. With the money flow index being super high though, you got to recognize that's sustainability, folks. That implies the price action is probably going to stick around in this range. So I feel like we may see some range bound activity here before the next leg up. That would seem probable to me. But again, at this point here, we see some pretty good overextensions, a likely pullback, but also way too early to tell, okay? So the odds of success going to the downside is lower than going to the upside. That's just the only way around it. So if you're going to take a long position, hypothetically ensure that it's a low leverage trade. I know that seems crazy, right? Because everyone else online is showing you how awesome they are with their 20 to 100x leverage trades. But imagine this, you do a low leverage trade, you take a long right now, the price pulls back, you consider adding to your position at a lower price point, a key level support range. Heaven forbid the price doesn't pull back, you got some skin in the game. If it does pull back, you can average in and have more success to the upside at that point. It's not a guarantee, of course, things could totally go wrong at that level, but the key takeaway here is if you're averaging in or averaging out, you're going to do yourself a lot more benefit than you would the other way around because it limits FOMO because you actually have some skin in the game, and it also, it's just the right way to go. It's really good for risk management. The whole point of me telling you that is specifically here is that we don't know if the price is going to continue higher. Most indicators are telling us it should though, all right? But again, this hinges on Bitcoin and if it wants to continue to the descending trend line here or not, or fill its CME gap it's been developing. Why don't you watch my Bitcoin video if you're curious about what I refer to with that. That's a very important thing that does imply further upside for Bitcoin once we bottom out. But for right now, I think Dogecoin is kind of doing its own thing for the most part, and I would be surprised or remiss if the price doesn't pull back to fill this fair value gap. But you also got to recognize too, it's been running without filling any previous gaps as well. So it really doesn't matter too much. The truth is the price is more likely to go up than down, but I would really urge you to consider taking a long position at a lower price point and just being patient, because this feels like I wouldn't say a pump and dump, but the price goes up for Bitcoin or for Dogecoin, right? It's all based on one tweet that was sent online a few hours ago, and now the realism's setting in, and people are just starting to sell. More so, the big market movers who got in right here are selling to that level, so we are likely to see a pivot off this 12 to 12.3, 12.5 cent range. That's my speculation. Anyways, I'll post our playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. It looks something like this if you're not familiar, where I just kind of give you insight on coins that I cover and just kind of give you some detailed analysis, things that are a little bit more relevant. So check that out, enable alerts, all that stuff. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, though. I do appreciate your time. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.